Hey YouTube, it's Kiko. This is the last video of the year for me for 2011, and I wanted to just run down 2011 for you guys, thank you guys a little bit, and to tell you what's coming up next year. Going into 2011, I had only been on YouTube for about 3 months. I had 300 subscribers. It's now the end of 2011, and I have 2,100 plus subscribers, almost 50,000 video views. And I've met so many people along the way, making new friends, putting videos up on some other people's channels, meeting big YouTubers, getting to travel to events and film different parts of the events. It's been a real blast, and I can't wait to continue that next year. Next year you're going to see more deck profiles, a more consistent upload schedule, better effects, video editing now that I have my new MacBook Pro. This video will probably be one of my first edited videos, which I'm really thankful for. So I appreciate everybody who's been helping me out. People I want to thank for this past year are Underworld 6667, Draco DMD, Vexcus 4666, Pro Winston, Senor Blanco 88, Promo, Maurice Brantley, for a few videos that he did, Kevin Ward, Thomas Vo. All of you guys that I've met this year that I got to meet in person and talk to and have people help me out with my videos, I really appreciated it. Let's get on with 2011 and what happened. At the beginning of the format, we were picking up where we left off in the previous year, which was 6 Samurais running rampant. Of course, you had Sheehan at 3, you still had 3 Solemn Warnings, 3 Smoke Signals. The deck was phenomenal and everybody was playing it. Then the ban list hit later on, knocking Sheehan down to 1, and also bringing back 2 Necro Gardenas, 3 Judgment Dragons, along with 2 Spirit Reapers and other cards. Everybody thought this was going to be the Chaos, Twilight, Lightsworn format. That deck ended up flopping pretty hard. Later on, approximately April 24th of that year, we received this card, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, which became the staple 9-star synchro in every extra deck. Trishula's continued to be one of the most staple cards in the extra deck, even after it was knocked down to 1. Its price is still being held pretty firm at $35 to $40 right now, and it's one of the best cards of the format. 1 month later, we got a Shonen Jump issue with another one of the most big-time staple cards in the format, which was Tech Genesis Hyper Librarian. When this card was at 3 and plants were running around, spamming your 3 Formula Synchrons, drawing 2 cards every time you spammed one, it was a very powerful play, and everybody was trying to get this card. At Nationals, this card was around $60 to $70, $80. Excuse me, $80. It is now consistently a $15 to $25 card, just kind of depending on the need, and it continues to be a staple in every extra deck. With the ban list coming back and Gold Series being released, there was one card in it that had everybody kind of guessing at what the ban list would hold. Well, a lot of people, if you invested correctly, were correct, and ended up capitalizing on how much Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning was when it came out. The gold rare is about $20, secret rares $35, ultra rares, depending on which kind, up to $30, $40, $50, just kind of depending, fluctuating through the format. Now, we had a set called Generation Force that was released on August 16th of 2011, bringing us cards like these right here, Leviathan Dragon, Steel Swarm Roach, and Leviair. Steel Swarm Roach was honestly one of the biggest flop cards of this year, coming out at about $90 to $100, staying there pretty consistently, but now dropping to $30 to $50 because of its lack of play. It's not a very key card in most people's extra decks, and so it has slowed down just a little bit. Now, in February, we got a set release of, which was Extreme Victory. Of course, we got a TCG exclusive promo card that happened to turn out to be one of the most broken cards of the year, Reborn Tengu. This card is still yet to be released in Japan and is still running around at 3 in the TCG. Plants are using it, TGs are using it, many other decks are abusing Tengu, and the fact that you can just search for another one when he leaves the field. It has been a crazy, run with Tengu. He has been dominating the format for quite some time. Next, 2 of the most powerful cards in the game this year, earlier in the format, were Solemn Warning and Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality and Warning still had yet to be reprinted, and everybody was waiting around to see when it would come up. Would it be in Gold Series? No, it wouldn't. It turned out to be the tins that we got which included a super rare reprint of Solemn Warning and a super rare reprint of Pot of Duality, making it more available to the people who wanted to run Duality in Gravekeepers, which were big at the time. Also in TG's, other decks like that as well. All of a sudden, after all this synchro summoning that came out, there was a card that was down to like, $8 to $10 a piece that came out of Storm of Ragnarok called Max C. All of a sudden, Billy Brake wins back-to-back YCS is running this card, and now that's a $50 to $60 card. It's a secret rare from, like I said, Storm of Ragnarok, which lets you draw a card every time your opponent or you special summon a monster. And so it is a very powerful card that people are playing in 2s and 3s now, and is one of the most powerful cards at the end of this format. On November 15th, we had a set release called Photon Shockwave, which releases with Rescue Rabbit, Evolzar Logia and Dolka, and Wind-Up Zenmaines. These have been, the Rabbit deck has gained in popularity, winning first, second, and third place, 8 of the top 16, and over half of the top 32 of YCS Brighton. Rabbit decks have been gaining in popularity and will still continue once we get Torbus from the Underworld next year in Order of Chaos. Now, another thing that happened this year was we added a new mechanic to the game. We added Xyz Summons, which means that you can take 2 monsters of the same level, as most people know, and you stack them on top of each other to bring out an Xyz monster, which is one of the black bordered cards. So if you did 2 level 4s, it makes a rank 4, which is this card right here, or, depending on the summoning situation. So that added a whole new mechanic to the game, which changed the game greatly, and let decks like Rabbit really, really flourish, and even brought back a few old decks, even giving 6 Samurais a slight boost in the area after they had lost so many cards. Scapegoat gained in popularity once again, pretty much thanks to Billy Brake running it in Plants. Heavy Storm was brought back, which really changed the format, also giving us 3 MSTs, so this was not as much of a back row heavy format as we had earlier in the year. Leeching the Light became a great side deck tech card for those agent decks that everybody was playing, now that Christia was a super rare reprint and at 2. Is this going to be the last that we see of Sangan before he gets banned in March of 2012? Who knows? I'll explain more about him later. And also, is this the last that we are going to see of the full plant engine that we have left, consisting of Debris Dragon, Dandelion, Glow Up Bulb, 1-for-1, Spore, and Lone Fire Blossom? Is that the last we're going to see of it before it gets banned? And of course, all of you guys are sitting here probably thinking, well, he missed a card. He missed a card. Why is he not talking about this card? We all know what the card of the format was. Tour Guide from the Underworld. From Extreme Victory, when she came out, she was a cheap $10 to $30, sort of depending on when you were looking at. Jumping up in price to $150 when Xyz Summons were talked about. Now, when Kevin Stewart got on his Facebook and ruled that monsters that were used as Xyz materials did count as monsters on the field, this card went up to $200 a copy for at least a couple of regionals that I know about, when they thought that they would be able to Xyz Summon with this card and Sangan, ditching Sangan for Leviathan Dragon's effect to make a 2500 beater and grab your effect Veiler or whatever the case may be. Of course, we all know that later on it was ruled that that is not the case, that monsters underneath your Xyz monsters are just materials, they are not monsters, so Sangan's effect no longer works. She's sitting at a consistent $140 to $150 right now, still at 3, still a TCG exclusive, and getting her own bus. Thanks a lot, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about it. Thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in 2012.